Yeah, I think we all need good chat. All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are off. What's in the first chest, Alucard?
I'm gonna go with magic powder. I want to see them powder some things in Escape.
All right. Bombs. It's a dark magician seed.
There you go. Very helpful though, for sure, because now they can just fly through Escape.
That's right. Don't need to farm for bombs. Don't even care what the guards have on them today. So the only other thing that they would want to get through Escape, but they got plenty of time to do it by the time they get to the bottle merchant, is get those 100 rupees so they can buy whatever the bottle merchant is selling today.
That's right. We've seen time and time again in the bracket stage that most players will not sit around and farm rupees. Like players of this caliber will generally just bank on the fact that they'll make the money there or route it in well later on. And sometimes we see players even gambling on heading south of Link's house early on and going towards the dam and the mini Moldorm cave. So we could see plays like that kind of change up their routes.
And you've also got a lot of our runners also know where all the pull locations are. So, I mean, if you get lucky and you get the 4 red rupees off of one of those pull trees, bam, you're golden. Both our runners going on the left side during Escape. No left side, right side hype here. Although we have seen some of our runners go to the right side in Escape. Obviously, the left side seems to be a little shorter.
Got a little piece of heart, a little love here early on in Escape.
Just
not too bad.
Just a little love.
So what do you want to see here early on, Ryu? Like, do you want to see some crazy, awesome, powerful item? Do you want to see like more progressive items in the seed? What do you want to see?
Well, you know, it's depending on what we as commentators want to see. Obviously, we, you know, as commentators and as viewers, you want to see the hype. You want to see the, you know, the big items come out early. But on the other hand, you also want to wait for those big progressive items to come out until our runners have had some sort of route diversion. Because if they've both got everything, it's not nearly as hype as if one of them finds it and the other one doesn't.
Yeah, I really want to see something like an early Moon Pearl into like Hammer and Power Gloves. And that'll give them a lot of areas to explore, and they may go off in completely different directions.
Sure.
I think that would be really cool to see.
And I think you probably agree with me on this one, Alucard, that of all of the items in the game, the ones that seem to troll the most are the Big Red Cane and the Fire Rod.
Definitely. I do see some troll medallions here and there.
That's true.
Kind of buried deep in pendant dungeons and stuff, but I definitely agree. Red Cane has been one of the biggest ones, Fire Rod for sure.
So both of them making pretty darn good time here out of Escape. They're going to get back upstairs at around 3:40, which is a good time here. Even in the vanilla No Major Glitches run, you want to complete Escape in about 6 minutes. So they're well on pace to do that here.
Yeah, Jet's only slightly ahead. It's not a very sizable advantage. We'll see that really diverge later on.
Yeah, we had a question in the chat, not Ice Rod. No, and Ice Rod doesn't troll nearly as much because it really can be anywhere. And when you expect that, you know it can be anywhere. It's kind of hard for it to troll you because you know, well, there's only 2 places it can't be, Ganon's Tower and on Trinex. So...
Right, that's true. But at the same time, it does provide for a fun scavenger hunt. So I understand the point there. It's like,
sure,
it is the item that can literally be anywhere but at Trinex and in Ganon's Tower. Well, I guess sometimes it can be in Ganon's Tower if T-Rock is a pendant.
And as you mentioned earlier, you asked me what would I like to see. Not necessarily in the early running, but I'll just go ahead and put it out there for my own selfish reasons. I have yet to commentate a pedestal required seed, so I am praying and hoping that this one will be pedestal required.
Oh man, that would be pretty hype. I do remember commentating one of those, and the hype was real. Everybody always enjoys a good pedestal seed. We haven't seen too many of them here in the bracket stage.
No, we saw a couple of them in the pool stage, but not nearly as many since we've been in brackets.
That's right. Interestingly, Jet farming up a couple of these rats, maybe just looking for some free bomb drops along the way. Definitely not a bad decision.
Now, particularly, they only take one hit. So we got 10 extra bombs. We got Big Love and Little Love. So no real progression here in the sewers.
So we'll probably just see these guys take a standard route over to Kakariko. They're pretty much at that mark where they'll be able to purchase from the bottle vendor, because they'll be able to farm up rupees in Blind's house or at the well.
All right, and what is in the tear chest today?
Looks like we have a map in the sanctuary chest. So these guys are not taking any risks today. They could have counted that. But you know what? Sometimes you just want a map. And that might be important. I have heard tale that maps may be important going forward in some of the new logic of the randomizer.
Interesting. Alright, so it looks like, both of our runners going to do the pull tree here, and boom! 20 rupees from the pull trees. Not bad. Could have been better, but... So now we may get an indication of whether or not Aghanim is required right here.
Oh, there's the power gloves!
So yeah, maybe not, because in this version of the logic that is not using progressive gloves, that will always be the power glove. So if they find the Titan's mitt without going to Aghanim, power gloves aren't going to be required.
Yeah, pretty much. But Aghanim could be required if something is on the pyramid, or if they have to somehow get hammer at the Fat Fairy. That's another circumstance where that comes into play. We do see Quake at the vanilla mushroom spot, and a piece of heart here in the Thieves' Hut.
And as of right now, we don't know whether Quake is going to be important or not. We'll have to get more information on the seed before we can figure that out.
Both of these guys going for more tree pulls. Only small magic drops for them. Still nothing that will progress them further.
Nope, and we don't have a map check yet either. A lot of runners like to go ahead and do the normal route of Kakariko Village and then Mini Moldorm Cave by Lake Hylia before they even bother with a map check. Why? Because regardless of what you get, you're probably going to do that route anyway.
There's just too many items to avoid Kakariko. You're going to find something that progresses you. Some nice rupees here in Blind's house. I guess the thieves are rich after all today.
It's true, and that could be a sign, particularly if we find the flippers around here. It could be a sign that the seed is hiding something required by Zora.
It definitely could be, but that is not in the logic whatsoever. So this could be a trap, or it could be exactly what they need to do.
That's a trap! Sorry, couldn't resist. So we're going to fall down into the well here. 5 more items. Lots of rupees. Rich seed so far. More rupees!
Holy smokes! All the rupees in the world.
Link is saying, you know what? Forget this quest to save the princess or whatever. I can retire with all the money I've found so far.
I really wouldn't be surprised to see one of these players do a fake flippers to Zora. We have a bottle with a fairy in it at the bottle vendor, so that's kind of nice. It's convenient.
Absolutely. Yeah, particularly so that you don't have to come back and... Oh, the bow!
Yo! the D in the chicken house.
D for chicken? What? Oh, never mind.
You heard me.
All right, so we got crystal number 6 at Tower of Hera. We have crystal number 4 at Eastern Palace and crystal number 2 at Desert Palace. Wow. All 3 Light World dungeons are crystals.
And we do see a mushroom here from the sick kid. So that's kind of exciting. We might see one of these guys go on a fun little fetch quest.
Well, that's why he's in bed. Dude, these shrooms, man. Can't take it. They're too powerful.
All right, and we do see Wolfie going to buy his bombs as well. Pretty much force their hand to go purchase some more bombs here, just to make sure that they have enough. Now, we could see some divergence from these players. You know, some people like to save and quit after checking the library and race game and go south of Link's house to the dam and mini Moldorm Cave, but we might also see a divergence to Eastern Palace with that bow. Could be a good play since it's a crystal anyways.
Yeah, not only is it a crystal, but you've also got Sahasrah's Closet, which has 3 items in it, as well as Eastern Palace itself, which has 3 items in it. So you got 6 items just by going to Eastern Palace, which you're going to, as you pointed out, you're going to have to do anyway.
That's right, but it looks like Jet is going to head south. See where Wolfie ends up. Oh, looks like he might be heading over to Eastern. Could even make a play on that mushroom if he wants to live the dream here.
Get out of Wolfie's head, Alucard.
Man, I'm all about the dream. But it looks like he's off to Eastern. And maybe quick pit stop in Sahasrah, like you said. Small shield in the dam.
Yeah, so now he's got the complete set of Fisher-Price equipment. The Fisher-Price sword and the Fisher-Price shield.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
That's right. And in Sahasrah, the safe deposit box, we got Little Love, 3 bombs, 50 rupees. What a waste of time.
Only a little love outside the dam. So Jet is off to the mini Moldorm Cave.
And I would imagine as well that the Jet will probably, as you mentioned, fake flipper on over to Hobo. And he may or may not check the Ice Rod Cave. There's a lot of runners that say, I always check the Ice Rod Cave, and there are others that say, you know what, that's so darn far out of the way that it's kind of worthless.
So far, nothing in Mini Moldorm except boots! Oh!
Boot!
What a nice find there for Jet. That'll make his Eastern Palace traversal that much faster.
Absolutely, and it's funny how the first palace in the game is this winding, long corridors that just make you wish, God, if I could only move faster. And then as soon as you complete it, here's your speed boots, man.
It's an inherent troll in the vanilla game. That's for sure.
Right. That's why having boots to do Eastern Palace is so satisfying.
It's quite the luxury. The Bloomerang here in Ice Rod Cave. Now, since Jet did purchase some bombs, he's actually down some rupees for the Zora exploration, so I imagine he's going to just fake flippers to Hobo now.
Poor wulfy83 slogging through Eastern with no shoes.
I mean, he's still getting through it. I mean,
yeah.
It's something he has to do. It's just going to be a little bit slower.
We will get some intel on what is on Lake Hylia Island. Boo.
So far, only a pile of money for Wolfie in Eastern. Nothing paying off so far.
Right, and this will be a sequence break in the logic, technically, whatever item Hobo has. It is the Titan's Mitts!
That is really huge to find that right now. That could be a very significant sequence break for these players, and especially for Jet right now. So Aghanim might still be required to get over to the eastern side of Dark World and collect the Pyramid item. Like, Moon Pearl could be on Pyramid, but this might clue Jet in that, like, maybe the flippers are on Pyramid, and I need to go get those in order to, you know, follow the logic of the game. So by knowing that the Titan's mitts are at Hobo, he gets a little bit of a clue about what's going on. He just has to make sure he reads into that and follows through with it later on.
So Wolfie just finding the burrito in the big key chest. He is not going around to the vanilla big key location.
Oh, he already did. He already did.
We did? I missed that. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And I believe Armos Knights will have an item here.
I think you're correct. I think I've only seen 2.
See how much ground Jet can make up with those Pegasus boots.
In this particular dungeon, quite a bit, because of the long drawn-out hallways where boots really helps. But Wolfie was so far into the dungeon now that it'd be kind of tough to tell. So will we see Wolfie do what Jet did, head down to ooh, the cape!
Well, that's a fun item, and could encourage Wolfie to go towards Aghanim. I imagine he's going to check a bunch of other stuff, including the dam and Mini Moldorm soon. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
I agree. And that's, Chet's pointing out, neither one of them have flippers yet, but now that he's found the cape, he's going to run down almost certainly to Mini Moldorm Cave, find his boots, and then I can't imagine why wulfy83 wouldn't fake flipper to Hobo.
Well, he could fake flipper to Zora instead. That's the
true.
Only other thing I can think of, since he actually has the rupees, but it's one or the other, I think.
Yeah. I think a lot of, and I don't know enough about how Wolfie runs, but a lot of runners will, if possible, try and save Zora until, 1, they found the flippers, and 2, to be able to route around and do, say, mushroom, catfish, and then Zora in that whole north Dark World route.
Yeah, that's extremely efficient if you can pull it off. But with them finding mushroom this early and boots this early and stuff, I mean, there's a lot of locations that they can check right now. They can check the flanctuary items. They can go over and deliver that mushroom. Zora might have Moon Pearl, in which case, rip that route.
Right. So. Exactly. I mean, Titan's mitts this early just blows the game wide open.
Yeah, Titan's mitts also gives them access to Death Mountain, very interestingly. And heck, we might see, like, vanilla flippers at Zora. That could be a thing with the Titan's mitts being where they are.
Wolfie just checking explosives at the Mini Moldorms over here. And yep, so we're in the unenviable position right now of knowing exactly what's coming up for both of our runners here, because we've seen the other guy do it.
They're making good calls either way. I think these are very good plays.
Without a doubt. I think at this stage of the tournament, it's going to be extraordinarily rare for any of our runners to make what would be considered a routing mistake. I think a lot of them are just it's going to be the item placement itself that is determinative. Hey, this guy chose to go this route, which was a good choice, just didn't happen to work out because of the way the items were arranged in this particular seed.
Absolutely. Looks like Wolfie's setting up to do some fake flippers after grabbing that bloomerang. We'll see where he heads off to. Jet now has the magic cape, so we can see here that he's going to be slightly ahead, but not by much. Wulfy with a cool setup for that fake flippers. Really cool.
And I assume that it works that way because the
damage boost won't scroll the screen, basically. So
thank you.
Yes. I'm coming in with the save.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, the damage boost won't scroll the screen, so he'll get over, so he's just 1 pixel away from the edge of the screen, and then he's good to go. Yeah. Looks like here's the Flanctuary items. We might see Jet head over to deliver that mushroom, too.
Ooh, the lamp.
That is a beautiful item.
Yeah, not something that either one of these runners needs to beat the game, but it sure is convenient.
And it could be required, potentially, to collect the fire rod or make progression.
True.
It's quite possible.
I'm going to go ahead and shout out the subscriber hype in the chat. Thank you, Jobocan, for subscribing to Speed Gaming, and Jet getting literate at Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, these Flanctuary items are literally letting them get over to desert.
Ooh.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Oh, single rupee in exchange. That is the best bargain basement drug deal in the game right there. Single rupee.
Quality. And now, interestingly, Wulfy not deciding to go over to Zora. Looks like he's going to head back over to the King's Tomb. He'll be happy.
Yes, he will.
As we see the old man being delivered here with some, holding on to some explosives. I guess in case he lost his way even more.
Yeah. You know, normally I would make a, "Here, Sonny, back in my day, I used to..." do what? Bomb people? Maybe that's Dark Magician after he retires, giving away his leftover bombs.
There you go.
Another single rupee sitting on Spectacle Rock, but what is inside Spectacle Rock? It is ether.
Very interesting to find these early medallions. It'll be funny when Bombos is the only one required or something.
Right. Yeah, Bombos is the only one required, and it's on the pedestal.
And probably the most useful of all the medallions, because it also can get you through Ice Palace.
Right. I've had to do that a couple seeds. No Fire Rod, but got to do Ice Palace, so let's break out the Bombos.
Alright, so Jet is leaving. I imagine he's off to Desert. There's a good number of items there, plus he can complete the dungeon, which is always great since it's a crystal. I'll be their second crystal, and it's quite early on here, especially with 3 crystals being in the light world.
And with the yeah, and you know, as you pointed out, you know, this is probably the best play he has right now, because until they find either the hookshot or the mirror, Tower of Hera is going to remain closed to them, and until they find the Moon Pearl, there's nothing they can do in the Dark World.
Yeah, pretty much Jet's only choices are to beat Aghanim. I mean, obviously come to Desert, which he's doing, which is, I think, the most lucrative and sensible play.
Concur.
He could go to Zora and Mushroom as well. I think those are the only 2 other options for him.
And as we saw from Wulfy's screen, that Mushroom deal is not going to turn out very well. So what is the ledge item? This is an item that's been disproportionately useful given its location, and it is the shovel on Desert Ledge.
I wouldn't call that not useful, but it's definitely something that could lead these guys to more progression.
Right, and that's the thing about, you know, shovel or mushroom, and to a lesser degree powder, but you don't know if you're gonna need it, so you better pick it up anyway.
And honestly, that's kind of what Jet wants to see here. He wants to basically collect everything and have some progression instead of going to remote locations that are out of the way. I guess shovel is kind of out of the way, but it's a pretty quick check.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be even quicker if either one of our runners had the flute, but as it is right now, the closest location to save and quit to would be Sanctuary, so... Or not, excuse me, it would be Link's house. But it's still a bit of a trek out. There are the flippers!
So this might inspire these guys to head over to Zora, since they will be able to collect both of the items there. But interesting that the flippers being here are what the logic wants you to go over to Hobo and collect. I mean, I think if somebody didn't fake flippers, they wouldn't be missing out too much at this point, but they may not have been able to complete the desert while they were here. So, like, this definitely sped up their traversal.
Right. So the... Oh, there's the hook shot!
Wow!
Wow!
Desert with all the things. We even have a shovel on the west side there on the ledge, so that's all the items in desert. It looks like Jet's gonna grab his shovel and probably just head off to beat Landmolus.
Desert Palace. It only has 2 items and the ledge item, but all 3 of them pretty important in this particular run. As the chat has pointed out, the desert blooms.
Yeah, kind of funny to see some flippers in desert.
Yeah.
Was this like some sort of oasis before? Some flippers were left behind.
And somebody actually teleported out of Misery Mire and like, well, shoot, I don't need these anymore.
Now, unless Moon Pearl is on the pyramid, Aghanim is likely not required.
No. I think you're right, Alucard. I think that's the only item that could be on the pyramid right now that would necessitate these guys going to Aghanim.
There is a very weird corner case where you can have Hammer at Fat Fairy, and you have to mirror over, but we haven't seen that yet. I haven't heard of anybody having to do that. I mean, there could be some other progression item on the pyramid, like a mirror that leads them to Hera, which gives them the Moon Pearl, but effectively they have to find a Moon Pearl at some point soon. And we will likely see them head up to Death Mountain.
Right.
After this.
Because having that hook shot means that they no longer need the mirror to get into Tower of Hera. And since both of our runners have the lamp, regardless of whether or not there is an item in Hera's basement, they will be able to full clear it.
Right. They could also consider the shovel play, because if Moon Pearl is at the Haunted Grove, then that could help their traversal through Death Mountain.
Yeah.
But
also open up the hookshot cave.
If it's not there, it could be more efficient to route with Mirror later, as they're maybe taking the purple chest down that path.
Both of our runners, we're used to a lot of times, our runners have either a sword upgrade or the fire rod when they fight Landmolus. This is a little bit of a reminder of how much of a pain that Landmolus boss can actually be when you're underpowered, like you are in the vanilla game when you reach them.
Nice snipe there at the end for Wulfy, and both of these guys have picked up their second crystal, so this is a neck-and-neck race right now. These guys digging deep for their NMG strats to get them through it. Very cool to see. Looks like Jet's going for that shovel.
Very impressive to see after 29 minutes, our runners are literally seconds apart. Now, did Jet visit Aghanis Cave?
He did.
He did.
So
okay.
Wulfy's just... I like this routing because you can just jump over here afterwards, and Aghanis takes a little bit longer to traverse through. Looks like only 20 rupees at the Haunted Grove. So if Wulfy skips over it, that could catch him up a little bit.
So getting up close to the 30-minute mark here in this race, and it is about as close as it can possibly be. So Chat, follow these runners. They deserve your attention. They are providing some awesome entertainment for you guys this evening. Give them a follow. And while you're at it, follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 for more Link to the Past randomizer tournament action, as well as dozens of other speed runs on this channel.
Interesting. They are both putting off Death Mountain, which is fine. Jet turning in that mushroom, forgetting he needs to scroll his screen away. Wulfy's going to be the first to Zora. I imagine Jet's going to follow through and head to Zora from here, so that's pretty solid routing. Wulfy has yet to turn in his shovel, basically, or, you know, get the Haunted Grove item. We see the Redarang on the ledge there.
And, you know, they may just be playing the version 18 logic here, knowing that the game intended them to get the flippers beforehand. But, nope, doesn't really turn out this time. Nice life lesson from King Zora.
Yeah, the logic really wanted them to head over to Hobo and pick up those Titan's mitts. Yep. And it looks like Wulfy's skipping over the Redarang and heading to Death Mountain, so he'll be the first one there. He has still skipped over the Haunted Grove item, though. So I think we're likely, it's possible that it's on the pyramid, but I think we're likely to see Moon Pearl in its vanilla randomizer location, as we like to call it, up here in Death Mountain.
We shall see, and there are 7 items in this cave alone. So, and then they will also be able to get Spiral Cave, which they will probably save until after Tower of Hera, because you've got to jump back down the mountain for that. So lots of items still possible here.
And we could even see a mirror or a hammer lead them up to Tower of Hera as well.
Yeah.
I'd also see some Super Bunny action. That would be interesting, which is also a sequence break, but something they can do.
Blue Goo and the Fire Shield.
I like the progressive shields.
Yeah. You know, as a great movie said, nice, nice, not thrilling, but nice. Neither one of our runners having the hammer. Ooh, half magic on the floating island.
That's a cool find. I don't expect either of these guys to go out of their way to get that. Ooh, and a nice bomb jump from Jet there. But it is a cool pickup, potentially, for them if they want it.
Yeah, as this seed goes along, it might, depending on when they hit Hookshot Cave, right? If it's later on, it can't be too much later given what they found right now. But if they're looking at, you know, a possible silverless Ganon, that might be something that that they decide to pick up.
So we did find the Moon Pearl in Spiral Cave. So these guys have a lot of access to the Dark World now. This is where routes can diverge, I'm sure, after they clean up here in Death Mountain. Jet almost saving and quitting there, realizing, wait a second, I can do a lot more here. Maybe I should finish this up.
That's right. Lots more items available to these guys right now. And, yeah, Wulfy, a little bit choppy. Seas are a little bit choppy for Wulfy's stream right now, but we got some bombs and we got some money.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them not to really find anything up here, honestly. I want to see them do a little more exploration before they get the value.
Oh, we gotta check here. So we got green pendant in Palace of Darkness and red pendant at Misery Mire. I believe
Blue
Turtle Rock.
I believe.
Yeah. And I believe Turtle Rock was number 5. Crystal number 5. So Tower of Hera and Turtle Rock are our number 5 and 6 crystals.
And there's the Bombos requirement, as well as a Master Sword. in the hookshot cave, but Bombos requirement for Turtle Rock, I might have cursed them. There's the magic powder. Very cool.
Yep, definitely the commentator's curse there.
But there's Bombos!
Oh.
Rip,
well,
I guess.
Rip commentator's curse. So Jet heading into Hookshot Cave. So Wolfie opted not. Well, he couldn't. Never mind. He couldn't have picked up half magic because he did not have the mirror. So very seriously doubt either of our runners will run back and pick it up now.
Oh no, that was 300 rupes. I saw it go up on the tracker and I was confused. Okay, there is no Bombos.
Oh, okay. I was just going with the flow. I was like,
hey,
I didn't see it, but I'm assuming Alucard did. So
that's what I was doing. I missed the last chest there in Hookshot Cave, so I was like, all right. But it does look like these guys are going to head over to Village of Outcasts. Pretty much synced up here, going into Dark World Kakariko. Very cool to see.
Yeah. And, Steve's Town, one of the dungeons that has the least, required items. You could say that the hammer is required for a full clear, but that usually doesn't stop a lot of our runners from going in, particularly if it's a crystal dungeon.
Definitely. Oh, there's the fire rod. That can inspire some of these guys to go to Skull Woods immediately.
And they may.
Looks like they're pushing through Village of Outcasts.
And just a bomb upgrade here.
These guys are crisscrossing all over the place. Man.
They're gonna jump too. I'm rolling deep with that one.
No comment. And it looks like Jet has decided to head south towards, I imagine, the digging game here and Hype Cave in general. Wolfie's following suit.
These guys are in each other's heads, man. Alright, so 15 digs in the digging game. The randomizer took out the randomness in being able to find whatever item is in digging game. So,
which in this case is 10 arrows. Beautiful.
So this is interesting that this a lot of times you'll see runners pick up the frog, pick up the lunchbox, and get the cave south of the Haunted Grove all in one route here, along with the items that they're getting here. But since neither one of our runners has the mirrors, that is not going to be open to them right now.
Not even an option, but we're getting to Hype Cave, guys! Get hype for Hype Cave! We're getting going here. Are you hyped for Hype Cave? Oh, he's hype.
The original and still best Hype Cave, but now that we've hyped it up. Dude. That's right, OG. Ooh! Riot Shield! A little bit of love. The hammer!
And that was Zankheart, too. Man, some super huge hype here in Hype Cave.
That is why it is called Hype Cave.
And we might see Jet route up to the pyramid here. Definitely not a bad plan. We've seen a lot of cool items on the pyramid in a lot of our races here in the tournament, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something there today too.
Looks like both of our runners are headed that way.
And then they can kind of smoothly route over to Catfish if they want.
But
pretty much doing a circle around the world.
Yeah.
Here.
It's the circle of items. Oh, the mirror!
Beautiful, beautiful play by both of these guys. Coming over here to the pyramid. The value, man. This is huge.
Will we find some worth at Catfish? One of the most out-of-the-way locations to check in the game. Will there be worth?
And both of these guys are doing it. You might even see either of them head back and take a full loop around the world because they can check north of the graveyard, and then they can check the Bumper Cave. Yeah, yep. Bumper Cave, and then they can head over to Skull Woods. So that could be a pretty solid route for them.
Sounds pretty solid to me. So we have woken up the Quakefish, and he says, if I give you this 5-arrow upgrade, will you go away? And Jet says, you can keep that 5-arrow upgrade. I'm still going away.
So he did save and quit. Wulfy is walking it. Now, what's funny is Jet can just turn around here and go straight back down the same path he went on and go to the dwarves. But I imagine he is going to go to Skull Woods and Thieves Town, because those are required. One of the two. And he has the hammer now, so it kind of makes sense. It's like Thieves.
Yeah, it looks like Wulfy is going to do exactly what you said, Alucard. He's going to get the cave above the graveyard and probably check on the Bumper Cave item, which he can get if he needs it.
I really do like this routing. It just knocks this northern area out of the way. You don't have to think about it anymore.
So Jet finds the big key real early in Steve's Town, but obviously he's still going to clear everything. Little bit of love in the cave above the graveyard.
It'll be interesting to see if Wulfy heads over to Skull Woods or if he also makes the Thieves play, or I should say the Steves play.
Steves. Alright, so we'll get some intel on the Bumper Cave item.
So what's actually interesting right now is these guys are not too far away from go mode. They need the Ice Rod, they need Bombos, and they need the Red Cane. They don't need the flute at all, because Misery Mire is dependent.
That's right, and it's always a lot easier to have the flute. Right, but as you mentioned, it is not required at all unless Misery Mire is required. So we're running low on things that could be on the pedestal for those who are still holding out hope for pedestal hype. But the cane, the red cane, cannot be on the pedestal because Misery Mire
could be if Misery Mire is another medallion.
Correct.
Ice Rod can be as well.
No, of course. Ice Rod can always be, as long as a Turtle Rock's not a pendant dungeon.
And with them having the Fire Rod and the Mirror, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys head over to Skull Woods next and check the pedestal. Oh yeah,
without a doubt. They both have the book. Skull Woods is not only required, but also pretty darn quick. So you got to assume that that's the next destination after Steve's Town.
And then I would imagine they route maybe southwards to Swamp. I think that's a good play at this point. There's a lot of items there. It can be kind of slow, but it's a dungeon that they have to complete.
Absolutely, and you know there's some differing philosophies about how to play a randomizer seed. And of course, you can never prove one is better than the other because of item distribution, but some people say, you know what, I'm going to clear out all of the overworld I can first before I dive into dungeons. There are other people that say, if I've got what I need to clear a dungeon, I'm going to go ahead and clear that dungeon. So...
Right, we've actually seen like the former school of thought from both of these players. They've been doing a lot of overworld cleanup before diving into these dungeons, which I think has really paid off for both of them. Especially the hammer and the mirror. Those were some great finds.
We got some people that just want to see the world burn in the chat. We got somebody wants Ice Rod and Ice Palace.
Well, they want hell to freeze over, I guess.
Yeah.
What they want.
That's true, yeah. Bad metaphor. I gotta quit mixing my metaphors like that. It'd still be trollier if Ice Rod were on the pedestal.
Oh, absolutely. Alright, let's see this blind fight from Jet. Looking good with that riot shield.
Yeah. Always nice to have a shield that can block the 5,000 fireballs that are on the screen.
Very nicely executed. Earns himself a tempered sword. Very cool.
That's something that's foreign to any of us who are running the most recent version of the logic.
But we have progressive swords as well. Progressive shields, progressive swords. Will we get progressive mails? We didn't have progressive mitts, sadly, but, you know, you can't win them all.
Well, they could have if they wanted to go to Aghanim first, but yeah,
Sure.
Nobody wants to do that.
Even the logic didn't want to do that. So.
That's right.
So here's Skull Woods for Jet as Wulfy enters his blind fight. See if it goes just as well.
Yeah, we are seeing both of our runners just basically play this game almost exactly the same. And as long as they keep making the same decisions, it's all going to be down to execution.
Absolutely. I think we're at the point where soon we may see some large diversions, but I feel like Wulfy will still make the Skull Woods play here. I mean, Tempered Sword makes the Mothula fight pretty trivial.
Mothula just so trolly with his ability to almost randomly just take no damage.
Jet pulling ahead here with the single arrow.
Ooh,
in Skull Woods.
Huge.
That's a huge find.
I cannot overstate the importance of finding the single arrow. The arrow of destiny, as the chat calls it.
It truly is.
Oh, nice job there by Jet, pulling the statue and avoiding the Gibdos at the same time. That was pretty nifty.
Yeah, these guys aren't messing around.
Jet there using the powder for its wondrous purpose of creating fairies out of bunny beams and anti-fairies. That's why I love the powder. Maybe not as much as Willard J. Bradley, but I love the powder.
It's a fantastic item. It's one of the best safety. I think it is the best safety item, honestly. In the game.
Agree with you more.
I think Jet is still looking for one more item here in Skull, but it makes sense. Go beat the boss first. If he has the item, then you don't have to worry about checking the other chest. Not even messing around with those Gibdos there in that room. Really nicely done. Jet's got some fire in his eyes. He wants to win this one and take this to a game 3.
And of course, we all want a game 3. It's not that we as commentators are completely unbiased and neutral, but of course we want a game 3. Wulfy taking a death. Now he has a fairy, but
that means he won't have it for later. Mothula giving Jet a little bit of trouble, but he's just busting out that fire rod and wrecking him.
And Mothula just hanging out up at the top of the screen saying, "Hit me if you want to, you're gonna knock me into these traps." But he made one fatal flaw. Jet capitalized, took down the moth, and he is done with Skull Woods. Pedestal hype time, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps?
I think he's going to pop in Skull Woods for that other chest really quick. And then maybe we'll see a pedestal check. Yeah. I think he's missing one item here. So it could be required. Could also just be 5 roops. But I do want to see the pedestal hype in the chat.
Of course.
Because I know Jet will be all about checking that here in just a second. I wasn't too far off. 20 roops.
2 hams. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is pedestal hype time. The chat is blowing up. Jet082 sprints to the pedestal, pulls out the Book of Mudora, translates it to just a quiver upgrade.
That's unfortunate, but you know what? I'm sure it's a relief for Jet here, and I'm sure Wulfy will be relieved shortly. Jet gonna continue his Dark World exploration. It looks like he's gonna head over to the portal right now, and maybe we'll see him traverse through the northern area of the Dark World, since he hasn't done that portion yet. No, he's skipping it. He's off to do the Dwarven Smiths. This is definitely a solid path.
And it's making up for, you know, what we were talking about earlier, the fact that they did a South Dark World route, but without the mirror, they were unable to complete most of the a lot of the items. Jet falling off the off the cliff there and having to climb back up.
He wants to take that frog for a little longer tour. I can understand. I can respect what he's doing there, but maybe that was unintentional. Just maybe. These guys still haven't found any males, so skipping that heart could be a bit of a risk. But Jet does have a fairy and a blue potion right now. Wulfy is going for the Tower of Hera play, so he's going to continue his dungeon exploration. He can check the Ether Tablet up here, he can finish Hera, and then he can check Spike Cave. So I like the routing.
I do too. It's another case of you know, what I was mentioning earlier is that very valid routes that may or may not bear fruit, but you can't say that they're wrong decisions.
A quality bug net from the Ether Tablet. As Jet picks up Bombos at the Magic Bat. That's huge. That is required.
Refresh my stream here. Alucard seemed to be a little ahead of me.
Very nice pickup. I think we're going to see Jet take the chest for a little walk. Busting out that hook shot to do some dash strats. I like it.
So it is down to Ice Rod and Cane of Samaria.
It really is. I expect Wulfy to find that item probably soon after doing this Tower of Hera area. Sorry, I mean Bombos. Well, the Magic Bat. Alright, Wulfy has found 2 items in Tower of Hera.
Unfortunately, neither of them was the item that we're looking for.
Hera not giving away any freebies today.
Nope, and Troll Dorm looking to troll, but will not troll today. Jet about to open the lunchbox. I'm sure right after that he's going to check Bombo's tablet.
We may see him make a play on Swamp.
Six items, the most lucrative dungeon in the game.
But also the slowest to full clear, possibly.
And from the heavens falls a flute!
Ooh, this is kind of a tricky item, because this could be amazing or a red herring.
Right.
That could take Jet in some very bad directions.
And meanwhile, we're about to see what is in Spike Cave.
This could be a big play for Wulfy if he finds a red cane up here or something.
Just a bottle.
That's still pretty cool. And we do see Jet going for Swamp.
Yeah, you never turn your nose up at a bottle, but bottle will never get you into go mode, so.
Ooh, we might see both of our players in Swamp here. Looks like Wulfy's going for the play too. That means he is delaying his collection of that Bombos at the Magic Bat. But he's getting crystals done. He is ahead on the crystal collection.
You know, like Catfish, the bat is one of those locations that I guess you could call it a low percentage location that a lot of people will not necessarily forget, but not put a good priority on obtaining.
And if Wulfy follows suit here, I guess he'll have all the crystals. He pretty much will be forced to do as much overworld exploration as he can. That will probably lead him there. It's convenient that the item that he is missing that is at bat is Bombos, because he can't even go into Turtle Rock to troll himself.
Right.
But with him near Swamp, he might check the Bombos tablet, and that might put him over in the mire area, which may or may not be good.
Well, yeah, both of our runners did check Bombo's tablet. They both have the flute now.
Oh, he picked it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but they both said, let's do Swamp Palace while we're here.
Right. So, like, he might actually end up going over there before he finishes the Dwarven Smiths. Who knows?
Soundhound 101 in the chat saying, but remember, yeah, but Wulfy has the bug net. I mean, come on, guys. Really? Can't forget that.
Each player does have an advantage over the other. And then, of course, we have some pendant dungeons, like Palace of Darkness is the green pendant. Does Sahasrara hold something important? We know the pedestal doesn't, but that could be a very time-consuming dungeon to clear. But if it does have the required item, that can pay off big time.
And not only is it the green pendant, but it's pod with 5 unique items, so high probability for Palace of Darkness to actually be holding our friend the Red Cane or the Ice Rod at this time.
That's right. Jet's being thorough here. You gotta full clear while you're here. Otherwise, it's gonna get wrecked, I guess, if the item is over on the west side.
Right. You see a lot of runners go ahead and just almost boss rush Argus, but skip the west side, and then if they don't get all the items, they go back in and then do the west side of Swamp Palace. But I think it's quicker. Oh, there's the banana hat hype.
Yo, I love me some banana hat hype. And the map. Gotta love that map. So at least it made it worth his while just a little bit to head over here. And we're gonna have the progressive males, assuming they do find red mail as well, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, somebody pointed out in, a lot of people are upset that we don't have any pedestal hype this particular round, but as someone pointed out in the Speedruns live chat of a race I did earlier today, and that is, oh, I remember when I used to think that pedestal required was the trolliest thing a seed could do. Oh, back in the days when I was a novice. Because, as we've been talking about, what if it's the green pendant in Misery Mire that leads to this, green pendant in pod that leads to X, Y, or Z. A seed can be a lot more complicated and not necessarily have to have pedestal required.
Absolutely. Yeah, things can be deep within pendant dungeons that are equally as troll, or at like Fat Fairy.
Right.
I don't think we're not gonna have a Fat Fairy scene this time though, but they can definitely be troll. Speaking of troll, Jet getting trolled by the little staircase there, forced to go back down.
Yeah. Now, Alucard, isn't that bug exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version, getting stuck on that staircase?
I think so, but I think you can dodge it by holding directional. Either way, it's a good check for him to go back for the big chest. It was a unique item. Wasn't any good this time, though.
No, unfortunately not. He's just going to be heading down, getting his last couple items, and making himself some fried calamari in the process.
Wulfy struggling a little bit with that pot. Didn't actually push the statue.
Oh.
Oops.
Like when you're newer at this game or at Rando, and you actually have the Cane of Samaria when you're in here, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to push that statue. I'm just going to use the Cane of Samaria, and then you get that block off screen, and it disappears, and the door closes on you.
Oh yeah, it's something that you don't really think about, but yeah, Samaria, things disappear if you scroll screen.
Jet making short work of the puff balls around Argus here with Tempered Sword. Single hit takes care of them.
2 spins and he's down.
Spin it to win it. There's the Ice Rod.
Wow, beautiful pickup. Both of these guys are going to snatch that Ice Rod. Be pretty happy about it. Now, Wulfy did not collect the item in the big chest, so he might be finishing Argus and then going back for it. I believe he knows that it's an item at this point.
Yeah.
And we see his save and quit from Jet. He might be off to Tower of Hera. Oh, no. He's going somewhere else. Oh, he's going for a mire play. Interesting. There are 3 items around the mire area, and he is 1 item away from go mode. Could we see a vanilla red cane?
Yeah, that, as I have said many times, and I will say it again, probably the trolliest location for an item to be is its vanilla location. Just like no one ever expects the Spanish Inquisition, no one ever expects an item to be where it was in vanilla.
That's right. Jet still has not checked north side of Dark World, so we might see him make a play on that right now. Looks like he is going for it.
Yep.
And Wulfy indeed is going back for the big chest. So these guys are leaving no stone unturned. Pretty great decisions by these guys to just clean everything out.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen a couple times in this tournament, probably most notably the basement of Tower of Hera having the Ice Rod. In one race, that leaving a stone unturned can also get you out of the tournament.
Absolutely. Wulfy kind of with some reverse routing here, which is actually going to work out for him since he did pick up the flute at Bombos. We'll be able to fly the purple chest right over.
True. Well, has Wulfy? I don't think Wulfy's activated his flute yet. I know.
No,
Jet
but
did.
he's heading all the way up
I see
here.
what you're saying.
So his route is it's going to be good for his route, and Jet is going to the mire area right now. So we'll see what's there.
So I think these items here around mire I'm struggling to think of another overworld item that our runners have not gotten yet, other than these items here by Meyer.
I guess Mimic Cave. I don't really count that.
No, that's really part of Turtle Rock.
Nor can anything good be there at this point, so...
No.
I mean, I guess, like, silvers or a sword upgrade.
True. And as close as these guys are, if one of them does end up finding silvers, that could be the deciding factor here.
Oh, definitely. So here's the checkerboard cave. Only a piece of heart. So I think Jet's going to head up to Tower of Hera area, which is something he hasn't done.
So it's all going to come down to the Cane of Samaria. So, and we know that Jet is not going to find it here in Tower of Hera. So what's it going to be? It's going to... Who's going to do what dungeons in what order and where that cane happens to be?
As you said it, Red Cane's one of the big ones that always calls these players.
Commentator's curse.
Looks like we've lost a little bit of Wolfie's stream, but I'm sure we're trying to get that back up and running for you guys.
Wolfie, next slide, please. Yeah. Don't blame the streamer. Blame the ISP.
And there's that advantage that Wolfie had down the drain. Jet has picked up his bug net.
Now he's on equal footing. That was a huge advantage for Wolfie up until this point.
Yep, and for a few seconds here, Jet does have an advantage, but Wolfie's, being the smart guy he is checking the magic bat, and he's going to find that bombos.
So you've got to think that the highest percentage play, now that most our runners have pretty much cleared out the overworld, at this point the highest percentage play has got to be pod. Right?
It's got to be pod. I agree, but at the same time, you know, Jet is fighting for his life, and Wolfie has, as you said, like some margin for error since he's a game up. So we might see one of these guys actually delve into like Ice Palace or Misery Mire. That could be an option. Where you going, Wolfie? What you doing? He's all over the place right now. Looked like he was thinking about going into T-Rock or something, but or maybe he forgot that he had already checked some of the stuff up there. I still don't know where he's going right now.
I don't either. Has Wolfie not done pegs?
Did he forget the pegs while he was there? Oh, he did.
Well, I know. Well, or did he drop? Yeah, he dropped the lunchbox.
He forgot the chest. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that puts these guys pretty much on even footing. Jet has yet to do Spike Cave, so we're gonna see him go in there. Now it's just a matter of who goes where that red cane is.
Jet checking Spike Cave, not going to be happy with the results here. So it's...
Oh yeah, Wolfie hasn't checked the Mire area. So he might make the decision to just jump right in Mire while he's here. Yep. Could be interesting.
It's like, I'm here, YOLO.
It is the least lucrative of the 3 pendant dungeons.
Correct.
That doesn't make it any less likely of any of the spots.
Right.
To be there. Now where are you going, Jet? What are you doing?
Not entirely sure.
Both of these guys making some maybe uncharacteristic mistakes. I don't think he can do anything up here.
I mean, is he? He's not going to go check that. He's not going to go pick up half magic, is he? If somebody,
unless he forgot to check it when he was up here.
Yeah, you can't. You know, somebody in the chat said YOLO Turtle Rock. Well, you can't YOLO Turtle Rock without the cane of Samaria. You don't get past the first.
Yes.
Oh dear Lord!
I don't expect that to happen. Okay, he's leaving immediately, and joining Wulfy in Palace of Darkness. Oh dear God! So Wulfy does have a slight advantage on Jet at this point, and this is the most lucrative of the dungeons. It's also the green pendant, which makes it even better because you're right here at Sahasrahla right after you finish it up.
Yeah. We're gonna have to ask both of our runners about some of these decisions, like because it looked like both of them tried to go to Turtle Rock without the cane. But here we are, 1 hour 10 minutes. By the way, follow these runners here on Twitch. This is an amazing race. Both of them are just playing the hell out of this game.
6 crystals at like the 1 hour and 10 minute mark is pretty incredible. They actually had 6 crystals earlier.
Yeah,
it's really amazing to see that. Just excellent play.
And look at this. They are seconds away from each other after an hour 11 minutes of play.
Man, they are bringing the hype today, and just like they did in the last race, this is pretty much anyone's game. And right now Wulfy might be ahead, but this is like a Ganon's Tower gamble away from changing. And look at this, Jet's going down the right side of Pod as Wulfy is going kind of deeper into the middle of Pod. So, you know, the moment they find that red cane, they can just bounce right out of here.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the point now, it's not even the left-right gamble at Ganon's Tower. It could simply be trolley RNG on, you know, Lanmalas or Aghanim 2 that could make a difference at this point.
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Wulfy finding big love.
I don't see unique items down there very often in this version of the logic, so we'll see a big heart there.
Well, I mean, there's 6 keys in Palace of Darkness, so
exactly. And you need a bunch early on so you don't soft lock yourself. So the logic is such that it basically forces you to get a bunch of keys early on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Soundhound 101 in the chat. This is a hell of a race. I don't know. It'd be difficult to find a race at this point of the seed where the runners are this close.
Right. Now, if Red Cane isn't here or Sahasrahla, where do you go, Ryu? Do you go to Ice Palace or do you go to Misery Mire? Ice Palace is a little bit more lucrative, but what do you do?
You know, I'm of the mind that, at least in my limited experience with the randomizer here, that it seems that Misery Mire takes the same amount of time whether you're in go mode or not. You know, a lot of the time, and I would.
Oh, just kidding. We have a red cane here in the turtle chest in Palace of Darkness. So both of these guys are in go mode, like less than 10 seconds apart from each other. This is a crazy race.
That's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane!
Oh my goodness. Here we go, Turtle Rock. There is an opportunity to gamble on a small key here in Turtle Rock. Wulfy does have the lead right now. We'll see if he can continue holding that lead just like he did in the first race.
Yeah, Wulfy with a slight lead in here. It is all down to execution at this point. There are, well, I take that back. There is one routing decision left, and that is left versus right side at Ganon's Tower. That is about the only decision left. Everything else is going to come down to execution.
There's a small key gamble that I see some players do in Turtle Rock, because there can be a small key in the big chest in Turtle Rock.
Right.
But that can be time consuming to go get. So some players will elect to skip it and hope to get one kind of along the way in the rolling pin room or on the laser eye bridge. But it's an interesting gamble that you can make, but we don't necessarily see that separate the racers, but they're that close. They're still on the Bombos animation together right now. It's crazy.
Oh my god. You know, and it can come down to the silliest little things. A minor execution error, RNG, the chain chomps in Turtle Rock, right?
Yeah, really anything can change the lead here, and we may see it switch off a couple times depending on how they execute.
Absolutely. From here on out, I mean, we could see. You just said it. We could see the lead change 3, 4, 5, 10 times.
So there's the big key for both of these guys. If they get a pair of small keys, they're going to be in pretty good shape for clearing Turtle Rock very quickly. These guys with their non-stop high-fiving. There's the pair of keys. That is a good sign for a fast Turtle Rock. These guys are going to be flying through here.
Both of our runners with Tempered Sword. So neither one of them are really going to be... neither one of them would really take a chance, you know, definitely search for silver arrows at this point. Not with Tempered Sword. With Master, you might see them checking a couple extra chests just in case, but...
But yeah, silvers could make a difference. Like if Validation Chest has silver arrows and one player checks it, that could be the difference between winning and losing this race.
Hey, don't laugh, Alu. You know we have seen that in this tournament in the pools round. We did see silver arrows in the Validation Chest.
I had it happen to me, and it paid off for me. So
hey, yeah, both of our runners really with nice chomp rooms there. That correct me if I'm wrong, Alucard, but don't the chomps do the same amount of damage as Ganon?
Not quite as much. I think Ganon himself like hits you for 8 hearts or something. That's ridiculous. Right. If you have the green mail. I don't think the chomps do quite as much, but it's still ridiculous.
Yeah. Darn Mario Brothers imports.
I mean, Turtle Rock is basically like the Mario dungeon. The game. You got pipes.
That's right.
You got chain chomps.
You got the pokies.
That's right. And here we see Wolfie going for the big chest. He does need one more key. This is an opportunity for Jet to catch up a little bit if he decides to skip the big chest. But he is going for it.
And there is a key in the big chest.
There is indeed. There's still potential for them to find another key around here. It depends if it's in that chest that Wolfie just passed by or not.
Right.
But it doesn't matter at this point. They're good to go to skip through the laser room.
Say we'll sprint down here, and they after the dark room here, and they will be able to just walk next door. No laser room required. What are the odds, Alucard, on silver arrows being in the laser room?
Oh, I have no idea. I guess we have 2 chests in Misery Mire, 3 in Ice. So that's 5, 22 in Ganis Towers, 27. And then, I don't know how many unique items they found in here. I'm trying to help, but it's like 1 in 30. It's like 1 in 30 or something. Or maybe it's like 4 in 30. I don't know. I'm doing the math for you.
I know you are, man.
I'm doing it. I'm trying to hook you up, bro.
I know. I see that. I was just thinking, they're pretty good. Oh, that would be interesting if Ganon said, did you find the silver arrows in Turtle Rock? But Alucard's over. Well,
I'm hitting you with the facts.
I love you, man. At any rate, let's get back to our runners here. Wulfy83 is making pretty short work of Trinex here. He's got both heads.
Wrecked the first phase of Trinex. Yeah. Good lord. And Jet is right behind him. Look at this.
Without a doubt. Oh my god. Wulfy with the perfect kill of the second form there. Jet just as good.
Oh my goodness. This is so hype right now. The question is, which way will these guys go in Ganon's Tower? Do they think they're ahead or behind? Do they make the right side gamble? Do they take Dark Magician strats? And also, where is that big key, guys? This is your time to guess where it is. You guys have 22 different locations to guess between. Let's see them in the chat.
Will we see a route divergence here in Ganon's Tower? They got to throw some crystals up in the air, and I assume both of them will go right to start off. But after that, because these two have been making almost the same decisions for the majority of this seed so far. Is that trend going to continue, or are we going to see somebody YOLO right side of Ganon's Tower?
We're about to find out. Looks like Wulfy is going to head for maybe a more kind of common standard route. Check these two chests here. I mean, if he finds a key, he could potentially continue right. There's the blue cane.
The second best cane in the game. All right, so right side is not going to happen due to no key in those first two chests.
So these guys are on the same path now, with Wulfy having an edge. We're going to see Bob maybe later on, because they did not bonk that piece of heart off.
If Bob lives, we'll be sure to say hi to him later.
It's all about execution at this point. These Stalfos can really troll you. Jet falling off there costs them another second or two. Both of these guys knocking out those Stalfos with no trouble.
You got Wulfy still looks to be about a good 8 seconds ahead at this point. But there's a whole lot of Ganon's Tower. There's a Gauntlet. There's a Landmalice fight. There's a Trolldorm fight. Aghanim 2. Ganon himself. At this point, the lead, such as it is so small that it could disappear at any second.
Very much so. And then, again, silvers are still out there somewhere. What if they're in the validation chest? I know Jet is not a fan of checking it.
Will that come back to haunt him? Still have yet to find Big Key, so will Big Key be in the randomizer room?
Here we go, 20 rupees. Piece of heart. There's the red mail, those progressive mails, and a compass.
Eggplant hat. Hype?
Yo, love me some eggplant.
So we'll check Bob, and then probably we'll check the vanilla Big Key location at Armos Nights.
Absolutely.
Both of our runners had a little bit of problems with the bonk over that teleporter there.
Yeah, second try for both of them. Here's Bob. Say hi to Bob.
Hi, Bob.
A little bit of love in his chest. So they need to execute well on this Ice Armos fight. Without silvers, they have to, hit all these arrows. Looks like Wulfy's doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, very nicely done. Nice quick kill.
Beautifully done on that quick kill.
There's the big key. And Wulfy says, you know what, I'm going to check these 2 chests anyway, probably just in case the silvers were there. They are not. wulfy83 is headed on his way up Ganon's tower to the gauntlet. Jet082 doing the same, about 6 seconds behind him.
This is so intense. Man, it's just about execution. Like, one wrong step, and the lead can switch.
Right.
And Wulfy has been doing a great job of staying ahead, but I think Jet has actually been closing the gap a little bit.
And remember, for the gauntlet coming up here, the initial positions of the enemies are predetermined, but their movement after those initial positions are RNG. So will that make a difference as our runners go through the gauntlet?
Jet having a little trouble with the mimics, costing him some time here.
Like we were saying before, at any time, any one little thing could make a difference with a difference this small between our runners.
We'll having a little bit of trouble in that first gauntlet room. Small opportunities to make up time.
And if our runners do not find silver arrows, silverless Ganon creates a whole other set of possibilities for the lead to change.
Jet having some trouble in the second room. Wulfy's starting to fly through the gauntlet and separate the 2 of them.
Wow, nice ice room there. So Wulfy heading on to Landmala's 2 here, pulling out his fire rod. And slide, please.
It looked like he got 2 down. There's the third one. So a solid 2 cycle. Again, chance for Jet to catch up a little bit. Looks like he's going to powder this anti-fairy, which actually makes the fight tougher, because those land mullets start spawning in that room.
All right, Wulfy with a flawless first Wizrobe room. And Wizrobe room number 2, boom, flawless as well.
Beautifully executed. Jet threw Land Molus on the second cycle. So both of these guys having the same cycle on Land Molus.
Oh, Wulfy getting hit by the flames, but stays on the platform, which was key there. Actually, really didn't matter now that I think about it, because he would have just warped back to the beginning.
Both of these guys with the awesome Samaria strats, making it look easy.
And unfortunately, we do not have sound, so I can't tell if the little jingle played, so that we didn't have to worry about Wulfy despawning the next floor here.
He's being thorough here and checking all the chests.
You know, knowing your competition and knowing how little of a difference was between you and your opponent in the previous game. Maybe that's the calculus he's making. Hey, I need to try and find silver arrows on the off chance that my opponent doesn't check these chests. That could be the difference in the match.
Jet is skipping over it as Wulfy is on Troll Dorm too. Gets him down.
And almost got trolled there. He was right next to him. If he had hit it, if Troll Dorm had made contact, that would have been interesting. All right, there will be no silver arrows. Just a piece of fart in the validation chest. Both of our runners will be doing a silverless Ganon with the Tempered Sword and Red Mail, so I'm not worried about either one of them dying, but opens up a whole realm of possibilities for little mistakes during the Ganon fight. Aghanim 2 going on here. Did not see how many hits
Wulfy
Wulfy
missing
got in the beginning.
almost easy 3-shot there, but getting another one immediately, so that worked out pretty well. Jet also got, I believe, 3 in on his first cycle, so it's looking to be a 3 cycle for him too. Oh, maybe not.
Just barely missed.
Still really close. It comes down to their arrowless strats.
Yeah. Silverless Ganon. It's gonna be spin to win, and you know how Ganon always loves to appear right on the edge. So, with the recoil from hitting Ganon, either one of our runners could fall. We did see the number 9 seed in this tournament fall to Ganon twice in a race. So it can happen to anyone.
It definitely can. Wulfy wrecking Ganon here with Tempered and Hookshot. Very nicely done. He's moving on towards that final phase.
Jet pretty much wrecking Ganon as well. But he's just a little bit behind.
Wulfy was actually able to kind of buffer off of the wall at the back, so like his RNG was slightly better there at the beginning of that Ganon fight, but Jet's making quick work of Ganon too. Here are those arrowless strats. You gotta spin them at the right time as he's teleporting. Wulfy's making it look easy.
Wulfy did get the torch glitch, which is very important in a silverless Ganon.
Yeah, missing it can slow you down significantly, so good on him.
So the arrows were on Death Mountain, according to Ganon. So Mimic Cave.
Oh my god.
Wow.
All right. I think Wulfy's in the last few hits here. He's been pretty flawless with this fight.
It's about, yeah, he's done it about as well as you can. Should be the last 1 or 2 hits coming up here. There it is. That is the last hit. GG's to wulfy83. Once he enters the Triforce room here, we will have his official Speedruns Live time. What a race, though. Wulfy83 is victorious with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, 56 seconds. GG's to Wulfy. He will move on to the next round of the 2017 Link to the Past Randomizer tournament.
Congratulations to Wulfy. Awesome execution. He didn't falter here in Ganon's Tower. He made some awesome plays, kind of going to the right places at the right times. I mean, both of these guys really did. And Jet finishing up Ganon there. And he's going to end up finishing and clock in an awesome time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 38 seconds. So, man, such a close race, such an awesome race. Great job by both of these guys.
Without a doubt. And if you guys weren't convinced to give these guys a follow before, you ought to be convinced to give them a follow now. So follow Jet082 and wulfy83 here on Twitch. Follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 for more 2017 Link to the Past Randomizer tournament action. And we will try to get our runners in for a post-game interview, but that is completely up to them. There is another race going on right now on Speed Gaming 2, and the 2017 Link to the Past Randomizer tournament continues this weekend. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., we will have ACMLM, the current world record holder, going up against Wild Anaconda 69. On Sunday, we have 3 matches scheduled right now. The first is 11 a.m. on Sunday, Evil Ash 25 versus Newbie 404. In game 1 of their series. Then at 3 o'clock p.m. on Sunday, we will have ACMLM versus Wild Anaconda 69, the next game in their series. And then game 2 of Evil Ash 25 and Newbie 404 will be at 3 o'clock p.m. on Sunday.
And interestingly, the winner of the ACMLM versus Wild Anaconda 69 match will face Wulfy in the round of 8. So that match is this weekend is going to determine who Wulfy's opponent is going to be. So it looks like we're going to have our runners join us here. Hello and congratulations, Wulfy and Jet. Awesome race, man. Like, this was such a tense and crazy race. 2 awesome races, I should say. You guys both have put on an awesome performance for us. Yeah. Well done.
Couldn't force that game 3.
Feels bad, man, but it was. I mean, look at how fast you guys did the seed in 1 hour 30 minutes. It was a crazy quick seed.
There's really
all the crystals in the light world and stuff.
There was no room really to improve much. Maybe gambling going into pod early, of course, but who knew?
Yeah, it was a pretty nice seed, and I expected going into this would be a close match, and it was both times.
It really was, but man, Wulfy, you kept like a small lead like the whole time, and you were able to keep up with it the whole time. That was the impressive thing. You just didn't let up. It was a pretty intense match.
Like, I knew there was a couple minor things I did, just screw-ups and stuff, and I'm thinking, where can I save time? And there really wasn't anywhere I could go to save time.
Well, it was a pretty straightforward seed too, wasn't it? It kind of led you along. I'm guessing we followed pretty similar routes.
I'm guessing you fake flippered as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So when Alucard was saying, Wulfy, that you had a lead, by lead, we're talking anywhere between 6 to 20 seconds for most of the race. So it was hype the entire race.
And honestly, Jet, I think, pulled ahead early game because he did end up going to Mini Moldorm and grabbing the boots, so his Eastern Palace traversal was a bit quicker.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the boots there, I was kind of like, oh crap.
I was actually thinking of going to Eastern after Kakariko, and I'm like, well, it's just really quick to check that area, and if I get boots, it'll be worth, and there was boots. But that's it. Yeah, like the whole time, like, he probably went this way. He probably went this way. Even getting Hammer in Hype Cave, it's like, not really any advantage there. I just assume you were routing the same as me. And then when I like checked not worth places, like going all the way through Skull Woods, looking for items, or doing like the north of the Dark World, and I'm like, nothing of worth there. So I'm like, oh, this is costing me.
So I like how this is the second time in a row we've needed Bombos to get into TR, and it's the second time in the row where both other medallions just got thrown at us early.
Yeah.
And Bombos has just held off until late.
Not too late though.
Actually, forget where it is.
I was actually really glad to get Ice Rod because I hate making the gamble of Ice Rod in TR. And that was my problem, actually. I started going to TR thinking I was missing Ice Rod and not the cane until I looked at my tracker and I'm like, oh, I'm missing the cane. I can't even get into Turtle Rock.
We actually saw you both do that, which was really funny. You both went up towards Turtle Rock and we were like, wait, where are they going right now?
What? Huh?
To be quite honest, you guys were almost like screen for screen for most of the race, maybe switching dungeons here and there. Like, I think the biggest divergence was like at the beginning when
that's true.
Wulfy went to Eastern Palace and you went to the dam, but then you immediately swapped positions. And then the other big divergence, I would say, is you went, Jet, you went to like Magic Bat and the Dwarven Smith's path over towards Swamp Palace. And
Magic Bat was worth.
Yeah, it was Bombos. It was that was an advantage for you, but Wulfy was doing all the dungeon clearing, so he went up to Tower of Hera, got an extra crystal over you for a little bit, but didn't find any progressive items.
There's a lot of items up there.
Yep, Net. That was fun.
Which we never used. Well, I never used.
Nah, you guys didn't use that, but It was a really fascinating race because you guys were more or less making the same decisions every time.
I was actually wondering if Aghanim would be required. You know, we saw Power Glove sitting there, and when I fake flippered into Mitts, I'm like, oh man, maybe and then I got caped like shortly thereafter. I'm like, did the seed actually want you to kill Aghanim to get the Power Gloves to progress? But then you get Book and go to Desert. I'm like,
I don't
okay,
think it needed you to. I
I
don't
was
think
gonna
it
go.
didn't. But
I
it
was gonna
seemed
leave
like it
Aghanim for
might.
last. Like I was gonna do everything else before Aghanim that time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially after last race,
Yeah.
which is what killed me.
But both of you guys fake flippering actually paid off because you could complete Desert while you were there. So that was kind of a nice benefit. You guys both had 20 bonks. This is crazy.
Wow.
And some insane item menu times, it seems. Jet with the 204. Good lord.
Whew. That's impressive.
The sub 2 dream. Rip.
So what do you guys think about Mimic Cave with silver arrows? I could see Wolfie checking all those chests there
I didn't
at
go
the
there.
end.
Oh, I thought, yeah, Death Mountain. That's the point, isn't it? That was the only place we didn't check. I could have went to Mimic Cave. I could have, but I wasn't gonna waste that much time.
Right. I think whatever time you would have made up in with silvers would have been destroyed by the amount of time it took to get them.
More or less, yeah.
There's very few places that, if silver's on the way after you're in go mode, that it's actually worth.
True.
Well, unless you have Master Sword. Master Sword makes it a little more worth, but it's still not Mimic Cave.
Did we both do the same Ganon's Tower?
You did.
I mean, I went left.
The same exact one. Check the 2 chests on the right and then go left. It was you guys made the same decision in Turtle Rock to go to the big chest there. You guys pretty much made the same decision. You guys were following each other the whole time, whether one was ahead or the other.
Yeah, you guys were in each other's heads without even knowing it, I think.
Yeah. Well, like Wolfie said, it's a straightforward seed. Not much room to go explore elsewhere.
But you guys still had some pretty amazing times. Like this was a quick seed. One might say a jet seed.
Maybe a little. Obviously not, because it wasn't in my favor.
Fair enough. Yeah, unfortunately, this does knock you out of the tournament, Jet, but
I knew Wolfie was the one to watch out for. Coming up, like the first one, I was worried about Wolfie. We might have either Wild or ACM next for Wolfie, so good luck to you for that.
Thank you.
yeah, how are you feeling about that? ACM or Wild Anaconda 69, both really strong players.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
But that's moving on to the quarterfinals there. Any thoughts on if you're going to change up your play at all, Wolfie?
I don't really think so, no.
Just kind of stick to your guns and use what works. I mean, it's got you this far.
Yeah.
And Jet, I guess, are you going to be continuing to join in on community races, like the weekly races? I know you're all about promoting like the weekly races on Saturdays at 3 p.m. and stuff.
I need to gear up for next tournament. I'm gonna get ready. Coming back with a vengeance.
With a vengeance! You heard that, Wolfie. He's got some red in his eyes.
We're going to meet again there, aren't we?
Vengeance.
I hope for it.
Very awesome. Well, awesome race, guys, and congratulations again to Wolfie. I mean, congratulations, Jet, for getting this far in the tournament and getting this close in both of the races of the match. Pretty incredible. So I think we're going to wrap things up here. Do you guys have any final or closing comments here?
Give Wolfie a follow. It's pretty good.
Good game, and see you all next week.
Congratulations to you, Wolfie. Jet, congratulations to you too. You know, I know it's sad that this ends your tournament life, but fantastic performance from you as well. As you mentioned, follow both of our runners here tonight. Amazing race. It was an honor to commentate it. GG's to both of you. And Alucard, why don't you sign us off for the night?
Yeah, awesome race as always. Again, make sure you guys are coming back here over the weekend for all the awesome Link to the Past races. Also, stick around here on the Speed Gaming channel for all the awesome like Donkey Kong Country races and Zero Mission races and everything else that's going on here on Speed Gaming. There's a lot of cool tournaments to be a part of. It's a great community. Definitely jump in, have a good time. We're getting down to it, though, in the Link to the Past tournament, so we're going to have some heated matches coming in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned right here on Speed Gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Alucard on commentary, and joining me was Phantom Ryu. See you guys next mission.
Good night, everyone.